It's
But yeah, when Derek Lewis dropped face down, that was a good fight. And I want to see Tai Tuivasa fight for more.
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Even if I gag every time he does a shoey, I don't care. Every time.
Well, you know.
I thought you were going to say something like, sometimes you just got to gag, and I was going to be very confused. And then you didn't, and I was even more confused.
That's upsetting.
Yep. Welcome to my life, Joe.
We all know you need to gag sometimes.
Didn't like that.
I didn't like the way you didn't like the way. For the record.
You didn't like the way I didn't like that?
Time. No.
Really?
You had a little senpai going on in there.
No, not even a little bit.
Not intentionally.
Not consciously.
Unintentionally.
But you were unintentional senpai, okay?
Unintentional senpai. That is the name of the world's crappiest manga. I guarantee it. It definitely exists.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's terrible. It's all terrible, by the way.
Oh, what's that, like?
You're the most weeb of us all. You're a secret weeb.
Secret weeb?
Secret weeb.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know what secrets you know, but
but you're gonna have to kill me.
He doesn't even know them.
You need to elaborate so I don't expose myself, obviously. Yes.
Damn it, he saw through my clever ruse.
Tell me what else.
Wasn't
before
that
I
clever.
incriminate myself.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm pretty sure Super Bowl Sunday might have some people's attentions outside of live streaming.
I suspect.
I didn't realize the Superb Owl was happening.
There's, I think, some sheep and a pigeon playing against each other. I don't know.
That sounds lame. I don't know why anyone would want to watch that.
Yeah.
Hand egg?
I hear Eminem's at the halftime show. That's why most people are watching it. But
yeah, that's fair. I'm sure it'll be on the internet later.
I'm sure most of it will be. Like who won? Because that's really
no. I mean
the halftime show as well. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everything finds its way onto YouTube. Let's be honest.
Go. There we go. I was wondering why that wasn't turning up.
What's this now?
Superb Owl.
That's one superb owl.
It's a whole bunch of them.
That one right there. The brown one with the crazy eyes.
I don't know about superb.
It's superb. Look at him.
That guy needs to.
That one's winking. Come on, that's not superb.
Okay, that one is a superb owl. That first one you pointed out looked like it needed some therapy.
They're owls. They all need therapy.
Needed to work some stuff out there. Seriously. So yeah, Ben, I appreciate you not slagging into lefties on the first sentence that comes out tonight. We'll save that for the third comment. We got 2 warm-ups.
We can have standards, okay?
Black Frost. Cheers. Bruh.
Hello, hello.
So, yeah. Did we have no prelude on what we were talking about tonight? It's just a whole bunch of random crap?
I think so. I think tonight's just one of those nights where it's just kind of crazy. I don't know how crazy it's going to get realistic.
Did anybody else hear the, like, dun-dun at the end? When you say knife talk in your head?
Like,
like dramatic dun-duns.
Like Law and Order type of.
That's
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. I was struggling. I'm like, man, the gears are turning, but nothing's happening. What the hell's the name of that show?
Same. I knew the sound, not the show.
What's that modem restart sound like we were talking about? Yeah.
That's my internal soundtrack. Thank you very much.
It's just screeching constantly. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Stanson, 357. Thanks for joining us, man. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice to see you.
Who's going first on carrying stuff?
I'm just making sure I got all the pictures up.
Oh, I see. Joe just now decides to do his job.
No.
Coming from the guy who has no responsibilities except for to just show up every week. Don't worry about it. I can judge.
You sure can.
With the best of them, man.
Fuck yeah. I have a little surprise, so I'm going to let one of you guys go first.
Surprise. A surprise. All right. Well, what are you carrying?
I'm carrying something weird today.
Hell yeah, you are.
Classic case. It's like a toothpick pattern fishing do-a-majig.
It is a toothpick pattern, isn't it?
Have you not? Yeah, it is. It is. Have you not actually done your homework to figure out what the hell it is? What's the pattern called? No. I've looked mine up just to be curious.
That's fair. I know that the serial number, like the part number for this thing, ends in F, which I imagine stands for fishing. And it's made of the stainless steel because there's an SS on it. So
those things all make sense. Yeah.
If you give me 3 seconds, I could probably look it up right now.
It's got a 5-digit number. That's how long it took me. But so yeah, fishy, Casey, good times. So do we just want to break the whole news about the whole garbage? We stumbled across a good little lot of traditionals type of thing. Is this a good time to do it? Leading with Paul, showing off a traditional. Yeah. So so we might be talking traditionals because we came across a handful of them that looked like they were right up our alley. So yeah,
that's one way of putting it.
Yep. Yeah, it sure is. On that note of traditionals.
Yeah. So I'm not Waluigi. I don't know what you're talking about. It's so on the hint of traditionals. I guess I'm going next. I was also carrying. Is yours even a case? I think it's a case. Oh, you forgot to mention you've got a sharpening stone on the side of your case.
Oh yeah.
That little weird little pad thingy is actually to sharpen fish hooks and debarb and ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I like the fact that the shield is a useful tool.
Yeah.
I also really like traditionals with weird things in them. That's kind of a trend of the traditionals I like to buy.
And I know Paul likes his shield to be a useful tool, but me as a useful tool likes to own a shield. So, I mean,
all right.
I like odd stuff in my traditionals.
All right, I'm carrying. I'm jumping ship here. It's also a case. It's the mini trapper.
Yeah.
So,
which
very nice.
Black canvas laminate. ? I don't know what that means. And conveniently, I have a nice pouch that fits all of these nice traditionals.
So reminds me of the Kershaw Gadsden or Gadsden. Anyway, basically mini trapper profile, but
yeah, in diddly. So
I prefer yours as much as I like my Kershaw, and I do like it a lot. I think I prefer yours.
I hope you would prefer mine. Seriously,
Do either one of you know?
No
what
knocking. Sorry, Paul.
Sorry, I don't mean to.
No, go ahead.
Do either one of you know what true sharp steel is? Like what the actual?
Yeah, so there's True Sharp or there's Carbon. They're Carbon V. I can't remember. Or no, there's CV steel. So the Carbon steel is 1095 Crovan, and their True Sharp has been confirmed in the past to be 420 high carbon.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's still the case. Get it?
Terrible.
But as far as I can tell, and every little bit of information I can find, it does just seem to be 420 high carbon, which is reasonable.
So
Decent
nothing to
still
write
for
home about,
traditionals.
but yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ben in chat's doing me a favor here.
Oh yeah.
Told me what he's carrying. Apparently,
Nice.
it's a vintage Saber Ireland fish knife, 2-blade folding knife, in synthetic yellow, because apparently yellow is hard to lose in the woods. I don't know if that color yellow is hard to lose in the woods, but
Depends on the time of year. How many
Touche.
dead? Yeah. I'm just
And-
bullshitting.
And surprisingly, mine is black, not yellow.
Yeah, shocker, right?
you will notice a trend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure throughout the evening, but yeah.
Speaking of
and-
trends.
All right, give her hell.
Yeah. So this isn't the surprise. I'm also carrying a traditional case. This is the Cheetah. It is their swing guard design that's been around since mid-70s, if not a little bit earlier, I think. This is their stainless version. I didn't get any close-ups of the tank stamps, but there's the case model up or stamp up front, and then 6.111.5. Yeah, it's weird that it's a 1/2 L stainless steel. I'm not sure if they ever made carbon versions of these. I'm sure they must have, but yeah, it's weird. All right, I've always wanted a swing guard stiletto. This is as close as I'm going to be able to legally get, so I'm very happy with it. It's a lot of fun and shiny.
The zebra pattern handle is very interesting.
It's weird.
What is it made out of?
It is actually bone.
It's bone that they zebra patterned.
Yeah, and you'll notice the pattern is the same on both sides, so they book match it, which is nice.
That is actually really nice.
Yeah, this is probably, just for the sheer goofiness of that guard, probably my favorite traditional right now of all the stuff I've been carrying, and I have used this actually quite a bit since getting it. Yeah, it's fun. It's just fun.
And Stance 357 did make a comment about orange hard to lose in the woods. You bet it is. Super hard to use, but apparently yellow is somewhat visible.
So you can definitely lose an orange knife in the woods. Just saying.
You can leave an orange knife in the woods. Let's not say lose. Like you intentionally set that knife down.
I did.
You did. You set it down.
And then I left for a couple months.
So there was no losing it. It was.
You go here now.
Yeah. Take care, little buddy.
You're free. You're free.
Hopefully, I'll see you
Look,
again soon.
Look, if you love someone, set them free. If they return to you, it was meant to be.
I'm not going to start doing that with my knives, but thank you for the advice.
There you go.
Terrible advice for the knives.
I don't think that's a good monetary suggestion.
No. All I'm saying is I like that knife even more now because it's got a story to it.
It certainly is. Certainly does. Yeah.
Maybe made in Japan or Ireland, depending on the stamp. Oh, talk about Dick Richards. Walter said big folder. Okay, cool. Neat. I was gonna say because my case is definitely made in the States. It says U.S. on it, so I'm gonna. Yeah, I think all of ours say U.S. on them somewhere.
I believe so.
Can't read it, but it says it.
Well, for my case knife, at least, it says it. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of stuff that's made in the States, I have a part 2 to this in typical Joe fashion, but I couldn't resist, and you'll understand why. I got the opportunity to pick something up today that I never thought I'd be able to handle in real life, much less ever own. I got my hands on a buck marksman.
Super cool, dude. Super cool.
Yeah. So
Which
oh,
variation?
man.
Steel.
The Tonto variation with 150 a CPM 154.
Okay.
Paul Boston.
It's not the S90 version
No,
of.
no. If I mean, shit, I'd be very happy to get that limited, but no. This is just the standard.
Even still. Yeah.
Even still, this is still one of my favorite steals in just this fun, snappy little knife. Super
Did
grateful.
that wander through the shop today by any chance?
It did, yes. The guy, it was just his pocket carry for the day, and I'm ashamed to say the first words out of my mouth were, "Oh my god, how much do you want for it?" And he laughed, and I told him I told him there are two knives. There are two knives that I repeatedly kick myself for not buying. One was the Buck Paradigm. The other one was the Buck Marksman. Buck's Marksman I never had a chance to handle before today. Anyway, yeah.
I did start a hashtag called "Friends Don't Let Friends Buy Tantos." So, Paul, we're gonna have to have an intervention.
Yeah, we can do that.
Look, it's not like I had an option here. If I had an option to pick the satin blade with the deep hollow grind on the drop point, I'd probably take that. But I'm not going to say no.
Maybe we'll just tie him down and have a reprofile party.
Oh, you'll make me cry, dude. Come on.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but if you look at the butt end of that knife, there's a hole there, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that knife has an adjustment. You can adjust up and down play out of the knife if you have issues with it.
Yes. I think that was one of the features.
Fancy.
That's
fancy.
Super cool. Yeah.
Because this is the second pick lock in my collection, and it is not a traditional pick lock. What Paul's talking about back and forth play, the way this lock engages, this tab here interfaces with this portion of the blade here. So super secure while there's tension, but eventually that can wear away. So what Paul's talking about is you adjust the screw here, it's going to change how far along this is sitting. That should adjust the play. Super cool. Super duper awesome. Cool.
It's a really neat feature to have built into a knife.
And this is now the second G&G Hawk design that is just batshit crazy that I own now. That isn't made by them, and I'm quite happy about that. I'm going to keep growing that collection, I think.
Absolutely.
Things not actually made by G&G Hawk, because that's ridiculous.
Because I can't afford their in-house stuff. Also, they're not making anything that's legal in Canada right now. I think everything they're making is auto, to some extent.
That's fair.
Good times.
Yeah.
You really like that pick lock action, eh?
Any knife that I can flick
the
blade close safely. Yeah. That makes me happy. That makes me very happy.
I like the way they did it here, where you have a little bit of extra to kind of grab onto.
It's definitely the better iteration of a pick lock I've seen. Swing guards are cool, not swing guards. Rotating bolsters are cool and all that, but in the absence of switchblades, this is a pretty nice alternative. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, look at you go. Look at you go.
Yeah.
Wasting more money on knives.
I was pretty on the one hand upset with myself that I'm spending more money on pocket knives, or I'm like, no, I need to slow down.
Do we dare ask?
You can't wave weird.
We won't on fair. Well, that'll be an after-air question. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. I was gonna say you can't wave weird stuff at me and not expect me to throw money at it. Like that's just mean.
Noted. Check your wording next time, bud.
I was like, I'd like to revise my earlier statement.
No.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't let me.
If any of the bots are watching, they now know one more thing to lure Joe into. Yeah.
That's not what I meant. Yes, hi, CPM.
CPM. How we doing, man? How we doing? All right, so people carrying things. That's a thing.
Yeah, everyone now knows what we're carrying, but I don't think we've asked them what they're carrying yet, have we?
No, we're assholes like that.
Yeah. What y'all carrying?
Oh, y'all. Everyone up in there. I saw Cal make a quick little note. I know he's in the background. What's he carrying?
Examinator.
Examinator. How you doing, lad? Yeah. Other than that, I was carrying a bailout because you can't just carry a traditional. That's stupid. Like it's.
I mean,
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. Like it's 2022. Let's take advantage of both some locky action shit.
Do we want to? I think we should talk about that. I agree 1,000%. I think there's a lot to be said about that.
Just a quick rundown. Black Frost is carrying the Super Freak. CPM is carrying his Shiro CD Quantum. I think I know what that is, but Shiro makes a nice knife. So yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we could make that a challenge at some point.
Ben may or may not be carrying the same Saber vintage pocket knife that he was talking about earlier. Yeah.
Indeed.
And Dick Richards, CTS, Cold Steel Holdout 3 and XHP. Burning on Joe. On Joe.
It's okay. I got the 6-inch
Fully
XHP. Let's just.
The 6-inch. I got more of the XHP. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like twice as useless. That thing is stupid.
I was gonna say, yeah, twice as much, half as practical. It's
Yeah, if that. I mean, that's. Yeah.
Stanson Airlight Tanto, nice. As long as they get that Kershaw leak. Do they make aftermarket a Lynch, a DPX clip for
leaks?
For a
no, for an Airlight Tanto?
Well,
I don't think
that's
they
the only.
or for Cold Steel at all.
They might make it for a leak, and if they do, it might just fit the.
Yeah, because I think we looked at that, and the screw pattern was even the same when we looked.
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah.
There's enough real estate you could re-drill holes even. Like it's a pretty big plate at the back of that clip.
Infinite's got the S45 Para. We got to get you some sweet scales on that. Maybe some carbon fiber Lotus.
Yeah. Just talking with Cal in the shop about aftermarket scales today a little bit. It's yeah.
I think the PM2 carbon fiber is the way to go. I mean, you can G10 it up, but it's already G10. Just take a Dremel and do your shit.
Yeah.
And if you mess it up, then buy them.
There you go.
There's just not enough space. They mill them out so much.
I always think about those Aramis scales. Yeah. Holy shit, those were nice.
I was showing Paul the carbon fiber Contigo Aramis scales.
Yeah.
And I could CF a Contigo just for the hell of it. Why wouldn't I?
I may have been encouraging towards that idea. You've got two of them, man.
But I have two. I might as well have a dress Contigo.
Hell yeah, man. Oh,
for
that's
weddings,
awesome.
man. Shit.
Knowing
This
Dennis's
is
friends.
my wedding
Yeah.
Contigo. Thank you very much.
I'll get some blue barrel spacers for it. Wait,
There you
it doesn't need no. Yeah, well, would it take the? I wonder if someone has swap out for back spacers. That's a lot of blue if you're upgrading the barrel spacer. Or the back spacer.
Just get a floating Timascus spacer instead. No,
Yeah, that
that's
sounds
more.
Dennis.
I was like that's more of a Paul
Yeah.
thing, really. But yeah.
Like that's ever gonna happen. Anyway,
If you did
back on track.
Yeah, track. We have a track tonight. That's a bald faced lie, sir. But that's okay.
All right. So
Traditional knives. You want to carry a modern knife with your traditional knife, you say?
I'm saying there needs to be a challenge at some point. We all got traditionals.
Are you telling
Can
me?
you make it a week?
can you make it a week with just a traditional?
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Well, yeah, I could.
it
But
wouldn't be
then
a very.
the entire week's episode is just going to be how much I hate Paul making me do this. Like I do it. Yeah, I would do it. And then I would just slag for 45 minutes. Such an asshole.
I
Like it's
and I wouldn't
making me
stop
do
him.
this.
Anytime Paul would try to talk, I just mute him.
Just no, you've had your time.
You-
Cal, the
did
Medford
this.
Slim Midi Tanto. That's another one. You should have got the drop point or the bellied or the whatever they call it instead of the Tanto. But overall, that's Nice knife.
Cool knife.
Yeah.
It's probably the favorite of all the Medfords that I've handled. To be fair, I've only handled maybe 5. The Slim Midi is probably my favorite out of the bunch. It's just nice. Action's great.
But I can't believe a
Profile.
Praetorian's not right up your alley. Like it's
Hey, the Praetorian's cool, but it's like, holy shit, when the fuck am I gonna carry this? Like,
I need suspenders for my pants.
Well,
For my knife.
the next time I have a tack vest on, I know what I'm reaching for. It's
look, if weight
I mean,
isn't a
perfect
concern,
opportunity.
yeah.
Tip down.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to carry a like when I was younger, basically just a Swiss Army knife. Not this particular one. It was a camper, I think. Anyway, I don't want to go back to those days because even then the blades would not stay sharp long enough. Like,
Well, Joe,
okay. So that's the other thing is how traditional are we going? Because I got some modern tradition. Like I can last all day. We got Appalachian drifters if we want to like stretch the
Yeah.
limits of how far we can go on these things, right? Like, what's the parameters?
does
it
the
has to
Spider
be
Co
old school.
native in S90V count?
No.
It's a backlock. What are you talking about? It's
No.
I knew the angle he was going for the entire time, but
yeah.
no.
It was also an asshole. Jesus.
Yep. Who would have thought?
I mean, I was pushing with a round head, dude. Seriously. I was like, yeah. Am I allowed to get
Oh,
away
no.
with it? And you're throwing up natives as being like, yeah, that's fair play.
No, I'm
Like, seriously.
no. In all honesty, this would probably be my choice, just because it's what I've been.
VG10.
VG10, 3 blades. It would be enough.
The only thing that would give me enjoyment, probably more than anything else, to carry for a week would probably be my farm and field. Both because I'm going to Emerson weave this hook off of Paul and cut him with it. Like, it's.
This is your fault.
And
Off of
then
Paul.
I'm gonna, like, as he's bleeding, light it up to glow him to distract him from the fact that I just cut him, and then it'll work out good. It'll work out good.
At least I didn't say you have to take your least useful traditionals. I mean, I think I would still lose, but
So I don't buy useless traditionals. I know you guys have pruning knives, but come on.
Hey, my harvester works great as a box cutter, man. It's fantastic.
look,
And it also looks like the vulture from the Muppets.
that's why I bought it. Let's be honest here.
That's fair. Look, aesthetics can play a big role.
Absolutely.
This thing's stupid. I love it. Real talk, though, this is a super useful blade length on a traditional, but it is weird carrying a lockback with no pocket clip that's this large, just loose in the pocket.
Okay, so yeah, I was gonna get into a bit of that topic about like the bigger traditionals because I have some boys that come out to play, like the Kingwood. This thing's a monster. Like it's buck 110 sized,
Yeah.
That's a lot of math.
and it's got the sheep's foot blade, and it's got the pick on it. The pick is like you can do some serious damage with this pick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, where do you draw the line on just like usefulness at
Like,
some point, right?
Yeah. Like you'd
for
almost have to
not-
put it.
I didn't realize that was a normal tool in a trapper.
Yeah.
Mine's-
a stockman.
No, this one's not a stockman either. This one's a ranch hand, something like that.
Branch hand sounds right, but
The two blades and the I don't know.
yeah, because I mean,
And
if
the
we're
pick.
talking traditionals, I guess a buck 110 would be the obvious answer, and I know Dennis has one with S30V, so he'd probably have an okay time with it.
Yeah. But I also have a 112 that's my Carta that I would much rather carry for a week over this brick. Like,
yeah, but is that really
seriously.
traditional? I mean, I guess it is riveted. It's not screw construction, so you're probably okay.
And yes, Dick Richards, this monster of a all is definitely a leather punch. Like it's the 2.5 inch. Like, it's no joke.
Some thick hides.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If I were forced to carry in pocket, I'd be hesitating over something that large. It's not that far off for a buck
And I got
110 even.
Can
Pouches
we
in the
talk
belt,
about
but
the perfect size in a traditional.
The little guys. Okay. I think that's where traditionals really shine, is in those really small size. Excuse me,
Like,
really small form factors. There we go.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
As far as convenience and like just utility tools day to day, you're not processing a ton of wood with them, but
don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on the big ones because the big ones definitely have their place. But as far as like day to day, it's hard
So-
not to like this.
So I've just done some serious rearranging, but yeah, my traditional drawer
Yep.
that is out,
He's
and
showing us his drawers.
it can't be bigger than that as far as length goes.
Yeah.
So if it is, it doesn't go into the traditional as far as I'm going to carry it. There is some things that should be in that drawer that aren't going to be because they just barely a manly knife wasp. It's close enough to a modern traditional that it would have get slipped in there, but it's like bunk too big, and the bunk too big, it gets kicked to the curb. It's now sitting in one of the pouches instead, and it'll get played with from time to time, unfortunately. But yeah.
It's a really good knife. I need to carry more often.
The wasp.
You have one.
I sure
I
did.
keep forgetting that. Yeah.
I carried it for a while, back pocket carry forever. That was the go-to because I fucking love S90. But
Look a picture of Dennis's.
Maybe it's because I got the bug out with S90 and I got some other things that are thin behind the edge with S90, so it helped me move on.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So
a good looking knife.
my case, yeah, okay. So this actually leads me up to a good point with the whole length thing and how big of a travel folder or traditional. The second Sunday topic is the one that actually has my picture of my traditionals, and the other I got a couple at very reasonable prices. But this guy was the beer barreled Boker.
Bear
That's
barrel
the-
broker.
Beer barrel Boker. Yeah, say that 3 times fast.
No,
No, I'm just gonna settle for struggling to open this picture. There we go.
That's not much of a compromise, Joe. It's
Don't you worry about it.
and I'm pretty sure I said to Paul when I bought it that no, that's not the beer barreled
That's not
one,
the beer
but
barrel.
you know,
Oh,
swing and a miss.
hey.
That is the rosewood one, which looks suspiciously like ironwood on the one side and a little more like rosewood on the other side that's not showing right now. But the beer barreled one is the
There
one
we
on the piece of birch. Yeah.
Yeah. I misclicked. Oops.
Yeah, there we go. There it is. Yeah. So that little some bitch right there, which fits just good and fine into the drawer and actually kicked out my Appalachian Drifter. Not sure what the Appalachian Drifter is going to do. If it gets left in a pouch, if it gets moved on to grazing pastures with someone else's collection, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I wanted it to be more than it was, and I don't think I'm going to get any use out of it, type of thing. So, but on that note, now that Joe's back, he can actually go to the other Boker that I picked up, which was the one with rosewood handle, which really, really pretty, classy, whatever type of thing. But my big issue with it is it literally like.
So instead of just getting a better drawer system, you're gonna complain that the knife is too long?
By like an eighth of an inch. Like,
That does suck, but
it doesn't fit. It doesn't
as-
fit into my traditional drawer.
Okay, so as far as fitting in your pocket, how does it do there?
Oh, it fits into the slip like everything else fits into the slip. It's no problem whatsoever, type of thing. And that's where most of them are going to go into, is probably my Northwood slip. I do have a smaller lion steel slip that I have as well, but I don't know. I like the Northwoods one more.
It goes into a fifth pocket. Perfect.
My dragonfly sits there. No one's knocking out the dragonfly. It's kind of.
Let him rub.
I hate you.
Rubbing his racing.
No.
Don't make that face at me, Jeff.
I'm gonna make it.
The tree is actually a walnut tree, Dick Richards. It's a walnut tree that used to grow at the Boker factory, and the owner of Boker, after World War II and everything got bombed and such, the walnut tree exploded. And that's when Boker started to put the tree brand as being the German as a tribute to the walnut tree that the great grandson, I don't know, someone played under outside the factory. So yes, kind of looks like a tree of life, very much so. But as long as the tree of life grows walnuts,
No
I'm
comment.
down. I'm totally down. It's a pretty wood. You can make knife handles out of it. You can eat them. Tree of life. Bam. Let's do it.
Life and knives, man. Life and knives.
Walnut.
I didn't take
Anyway.
pictures of all of my traditionals like an asshole.
What? What's that?
You didn't?
I
'Cause
didn't
you're-
take pictures of all my traditionals like an asshole.
Well, you know, someone's an asshole.
But you can definitely tell there's a bit of a theme as far as like Dennis and his like the blacks and like the traditional woods and things like that. And I much prefer some of the crazier things. And this reminds me of bananas. And that's all I wanted to say about that.
Well, and there was definitely some other things in those traditionals that I was actually surprised. Some purple bone, some green bone, some red bone. I was surprised that you didn't jump on, that you doubled down on the yellows, I think is the surprising.
Of all the choices you made.
Hey man.
You calling me yellow?
Fella.
So, a funny story. I forget their Instagram handle right now, but there's a person on Instagram who has a traditional knife in this color pattern with a banana shield on it. And I adore that knife.
Oh, I know what that is. With
Yeah.
the banana shield.
We've all seen it. But
I'm drawing a blank. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know their Instagram handle well enough to just like repeat it here right now, but I could find them if I needed to. I
Yeah.
probably could have beforehand.
Make a note of it for next week if you can.
Yeah.
But you know.
But that yellow with, and the shield's not a banana, but it's kind of banana shaped.
it's banana-esque.
Yeah. Yeah, puts a smile on my face. And it's got weird shit. Because it's got an all.
So, I know Dennis does carry his traditionals from time to time. I know Paul carries them mostly as not so much worry stones, but like more fidgety. Like, yeah, this is cool. Like the same reason why I was carrying a lot of this initially. It's like, yeah, that's cool. It's different. It's yeah. Do you guys get a ton of use out of your traditionals? Because that might lead into a further question.
Yes and no.
Only when I want to. As far as a day to
Okay.
day, it's yeah. But
That's
if
fair.
I'm having fun with it, or if I'm in a situation might call for not a scary knife, something like that, I have something that's like, oh, that's nice. Where'd you get that? Type of.
Right.
So there's that, and I also use them as like steak knives and things like that pretty often because they're a thin, slicey blade and they cut real nice. And
They
they're
sure
super
do.
soft steel, so if I hit the plate, it's not a big deal.
What do you mean if? Yeah. When
Amen.
you hit the plate. We
Yeah.
all do it, even when we're being exceptionally careful. It happens occasionally. So
See, the solution is to just get wooden plates.
yes, and I agree 100%.
I have them. It's fantastic. They will
Great.
be used this evening. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So I guess my follow-up question is, with commentary from people like Shabazz in mind, talking about how traditionals are so great because the blades are so thin, do you guys actually notice a huge amount of cutting performance difference, like through normal cutting tasks? Say when you would compare to, I don't know, like a 940, I guess is kind of an extreme example because of how stocky the blade is behind the edge, but like your average modern pocket knife versus your average traditional that you may or may not be carrying that day. Because
Okay.
for myself,
yes, valid point for sure. But let me just counter, like,
Yep.
with, not necessarily a huge difference, but rarely will I find a traditional that doesn't cut good.
Yep.
It's more reliably good slicers than modern ones, which can be all over
Right.
the goddamn map.
And regardless of
So
price point, like
consistently traditionals are you don't get one. Like my round head actually got criticized for being too thick behind the edge, and I did actually reprofile it a little bit because of the stock thickness and such, right?
right.
But yes, very rarely do you
Especially if
get
you get into traditionals.
those comments about
Yeah.
yeah.
So essentially, for grind and for sliciness, you might want to be a bit more picky when it comes to modern production patterns.
I
Knives.
personally believe that to be true. Yeah. So whereas
That's
you can
fair.
buy a traditional for, and you might have cheap steel,
Oh.
but I mean,
Well,
yeah, chances are, as far as blade geometry goes, you're like, yeah, it's probably going to slice pretty good. So
That's kind of where I would lean to. As far as like use case, we were talking just a few minutes ago about if you're going to go and reach for a traditional. If I'm doing a cutting task where I want a nice fine slicey edge, that might be the reason why I reach into my back pocket rather than to the pocket clip in my front pocket kind of thing.
from time to time, we have to cut the clam packages open and try to preserve some sort of things on the clam packs, and those traditionals with the super skinny narrow blades especially do make a pretty good job of doing that precise. So in those type of situations, and especially when we're putting things out for display products and things like that,
if I'm cutting on this, like cutting signs or something like that, where I'm cutting on a surface that I may not necessarily want my tip to be rubbing. Knife tip.
yeah. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. Traditional is often a good choice in that situation because, again, super soft steel, real easy to reprofile back if you.
And how often on a traditional do you have a knife that isn't as acute of a tip, a little more sheep's footy, something like that can still get the job done, and you're not worried about stabbing product and things like that quite as much, right? So, Dick Richards, the Tree brand ones actually now signify that they're made in Germany. And the Boker Plus stuff is the stuff that's either now Chinese or Taiwanese made. But yes, it was now their new symbol for German made products.
Yeah.
So, as I said, it says Solingen right in that.
And then, just as a heads up, and we're going to get demonetized for it, the Rams just sacked on the 4th down. Don't know what that is.
I couldn't tell you the last time I watched football.
I think a sheep got kicked in the nuts.
It deserved it, don't worry.
4 times, dude.
4 times, he wouldn't stay down.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Brutal. Yeah, I think that's a really valid point, is the fact that you could get into a cheap $30 buck and expect similar cutting performance to a much more expensive knife, just due to virtue of the geometry of the blade.
And I mean, that'll dive into the overpriced market that is traditionals, because Jesus Christ, you can buy a $30 Rough Rider, or you can buy a $100 or $120 case. Now, none of us paid those silly prices because, it was a nice little cachet of traditional knives that we stumbled across, and all of us kind of took advantage of it. So, yeah. Picked up a couple gems because we couldn't argue about prices. But there's no way I'd buy that black linen case knife for the price that they're actually asking for that knife. And I mean, God bless it, because it's a nice fit and finish on it. I'm actually impressed with Case.
Absolutely. They still do produce that particular model, just as they still do produce things like the Cheetah, surprisingly. But yeah, they are very pricey. In terms of the bang for your buck, you're definitely losing out compared to a lot of other options out there. But you do get something that's American made, so if that's worth it to you, that's something to consider. Also, I will say that from what I've been reading online, it seems like Case's quality control took a bit of a dip starting mid-90s, but then recently, like 2018, 2017 and later, they seem to have gotten quite a bit better in terms of just the overall fit and finish, sharpening out of box. Basically, seems like people give a shit, which is really encouraging to hear.
Yeah, I don't know what year mine is exactly. It's not that old. 20-ish years after post 2000, I would say, if I were to guess.
Right.
but yeah, overall, even with that dip and them coming back and whatever, I'm actually pretty impressed. Fit and finish. I've been playing with this thing over the last couple days and all weekend and stuff like that, and even compared to the German Bokers and stuff like that. Like, I'd like to get a little more carbon steel case knives if I can get my hands on them, and then those are a little harder to track down in the patterns that I like, at least. Yeah, that stipulation on the end, because goddamn traditionals, there's a lot of ugly fucking traditionals out there.
There's also a ton of traditionals that like Case will make a pattern for a number of years, and then it gets discoed, goes to the vault. They don't re-release them for a number of years. And yes, you can buy GEC models if you happen to be interested in ones that aren't that popular. I'm just not
far from the worst. That's far from the worst pattern out there, too, Paul. That's the worst part about that.
Yeah,
that's not the worst knife that exists. Like, there is some stuff. Yeah,
I like your backhanded compliment. That's not a compliment.
No.
Don't get me wrong. That is hideous.
You have bought some horrendous patterns. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What do you say?
But yeah.
What are you talking about?
There's some silly things all up in there. The other thing, and I'm going to say it right now, and I don't know if you will call it a mini toothpick or a micro toothpick or the whatever, but the buck one in particular, there is a certain size of toothpicks that just are like, what is this now? This is like a Swiss Army keychain blade at this point.
I know what you're talking about. I'm going to see if I can bring up a picture, but...
And I don't hate the toothpick pattern per se, but I think I know Buck has one in particular. Yeah, that's just like so many that I don't trust it to do anything except for cut a grape and a letter open type of like.
So I don't know if this is the one you're talking about. I just pulled this up. It must be if it's that cheap. 420 J2 steel blade. Man. Okay, so this is a 2 1/4 inch blade. Is that the one you're thinking of, or a little bit smaller? Even smaller.
2 1/4 might be it, but yeah.
Well,
no, I'm not talking the micro ones. I'm talking even this guy.
This is like a 2 inch blade, if that.
And CPM, traditional slip joints, whatever you want to call it. That's kind of what we're chatting about this evening. A bunch of us stumbled into some Boker Germany, some Case stuff. Some Queen stuff. We got them at a really good price. They were basically like half price-ish, if not more. So we all kind of spoiled ourselves with a couple patterns that, I've normally been a Barlow guy type of thing. I like the canoes. I like that. But I got a Trapper and 2 Stockmans. I don't know about the Stockman pattern. But I'm really cozying up to the Trapper pattern. That's for sure.
I do like a good Trapper.
Yeah.
I like when my blades open in the same direction.
Yeah.
More than.
See,
I think I almost like the double canoe-y thing going on. I don't even know what it's called. But it's like a canoe with 2 blades coming off of either side.
A 2 blades on either side?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's like a Congress, but multi. Okay, yeah.
And I think I like that a little bit more than a Trapper myself.
Really?
But
that's fair.
This thing is a chonker.
That tortoiseshell, though.
It's gorgeous, but I almost never carry it because, sure, I get 4 blades. It's just identical, one side to the other. They're D2. They're thin, they're wonderful, but it's such a heavy knife. And, it feels like if all it had was the pen blade, like just one of each of these, I'd probably carry it. It's just such a fat knife, comparatively speaking.
We should talk. You saw it to me. That's what we should talk about.
Yeah.
Well,
we might come back to that because honestly, I feel bad that I don't carry the stupid thing.
We'll see if it fits in my drawer.
I have to give you a length measurement on this thing. Does it meet the cut? I don't know, dude. It's
gotta
long.
Be pretty precise.
It's not a short knife. Anyway.
CPM is talking about Cultro slip joints are sick. BB, thanks for joining us, man. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Hope the island is treating you good. Yeah, island, I think. Yeah. So
So, is your issue with the toothpicks just like the thin blades?
how thin it is, for sure, and then just how thin the handle is too. It just feels like it's like there's this point where usefulness just dies.
Oh, absolutely. This is definitely a light use tool,
I think
even in the 4 1/4 inch blade.
the only slip joints that I would not consider light use are things like double-handled slip joints, stuff like that, where it's not going to fail on me.
I don't know, man. I don't know. This Ranchman's half stop GEC.
It's
I
a
don't think it's
big,
going anywhere.
it's a big blade, but I'm
I could still, with the rivets and everything, this thing is built better than the other two GECs I have. That's for sure. This thing's a tank. I could definitely get some work done with this thing.
yeah, I guess not thinking
It's
about.
buck 110 tanky.
I was gonna say thinking about the Buck 110 and how that's similar in size. Yeah, yeah. There's enough people in the world who've done stupid shit with their Buck 110 to say otherwise. So Fair
And
enough.
Cultro has got some sleek looking slip joints. Definitely modern traditionals. I'd carry that for a week.
Yeah. Oh, is that where we're at? Okay. Well, I'm
Where's the line here? Where's the line here, boys?
Because otherwise, I'm carrying this. No,
Or dogs.
not the 6-inch. Not the 6. Maybe the 4-inch. Not the 6-inch. I think it's stupid. Yeah, those are gorgeous though. Crosscut micarta, and a few of them looks like. Yeah, that's cute. I like those blade shapes.
I think it's fair to say at this point that you guys have found enough holes in my suggestion
We're
as
just
to
not
not
doing
have to
it.
worry about it. Yeah, we're good.
All right, all right.
Go traditional under 3-inch, just parameters, or just like super traditional. Has to be wood handled with
Has to
Smallest
be
traditional in
steel,
your
pin construction.
steel that
smallest-
existed in the 1970s. Yeah.
smallest in your collection.
Don't do that to
Oh,
me.
I
Come
hate
on.
you. I hate you.
I
I've got the
think I
Northwoods
still
Little
lose.
Bay.
I'm
And
trying
don't get
to-
me wrong, this thing's sweet. But the pull on this thing out of 10 is a 14 and a half. Like,
I remember that knife. It destroyed my fingernail trying to open it in your
breaks
house like a year ago. nails.
It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
screw that. Yeah, no.
Also, probably the most expensive traditional I own.
Does my Tengu tool count as a traditional? Because I might be screwing myself there too.
Well, friction folder, I
Oh,
mean, it's
yeah.
way more
Yeah,
traditional.
yeah.
But you're also looking
not
at
only
screw
that, with
construction
this.
at G10.
This is not a lot.
See, okay, if we're like, there's lots of guys online that'll tell you that a traditional is only a traditional if it's pin construction, natural, not handle materials. That they're called scale. No, sorry, not scales. Covers. That's what they are. They're covers because they cover the liners.
So this doesn't count?
No, that definitely would not count.
Oh,
Yeah. So if we're going by an ultra strict ruling, also that means this wouldn't count either. The synthetic tortoise. Yeah.
You get
Just
your
kill a
space
real
tortoise
tortoise,
out of
right?
here. Yeah, no kidding. You come back when you have some real turtle.
yeah.
You gotta hunt him
Kill a turtle
yourself
like a man.
with your own two hands.
I mean, you can kill it however you want. If you want to club it to death with your dick, that's on you, bud.
Jesus Christ. I hope not. I've never wanted anything less in my life. Thank you.
I have to question your hunting styles.
Your tactics.
You're not allowed to come hunting with
No,
us, Paul.
What? I'm not allowed to put food on the table?
Paul, your tactics confuse and frighten me, sir.
That's what he's banking on for the animals as well.
That's god awful. I hate both of you.
Demonetized indeed.
Oh, good God.
I don't think you can get. I don't know. Never mind. We have been demonetized and we're not monetized, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
you certainly can.
Jared Ozier Zulus are great small slippies. Hell yeah, they are. Be prepared to pay though. That's accessibility is definitely limited there.
if you've seen CPM's page on Instagram,
I
you know
know.
they're not shy about
No, they got
putting out money for nice knives.
some delicious stuff.
Absolutely.
I understand. There's nothing but jealousy, seething green jealousy. When I say, "Oh, it's not inexpensive enough," it's for me. That's what that is.
Joe, you need to stop seething green, whatever it is.
Don't
Those
worry
two
about it.
words.
Go to
Yeah.
a doctor.
You keep your nose out of my personal medical affairs.
My nose is nowhere near your affairs.
Yeah, my nose
My
is about as
affairs.
deep as it wants to go into your affairs.
My affairs beg to differ.
My nose will not be going deeper.
Fine. But on the note of
I bet.
on the note of Jared Ozier, there's a lot of guys that are still making really sick traditional folders, like custom made, pin construction, gorgeous folders. And I think that's because the equipment that's necessary to make these things isn't really all that complex. It's mostly hand tools. But it
Is
means
it
that
Tabor knives? D Tabor.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Tabor,
that
Beautiful.
sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Paul
Beautiful.
Mason out of the UK makes beautiful traditional stuff.
Yeah. Couple shout outs. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I think that's one way to burn a topic. But yeah, I think
So yeah, that's
buy
it.
some traditional.
So not to drop too much, but thank you to Doug again for hooking the guys up. If he ever sits down and watches this, we will definitely shout out to that man, because super cool additions going on. The Rosewood one actually is going to get carried probably this week or so, because I hate the fact that I'm not going to be able to fit it in the drawer, so I'm just going to put it in my pocket all week. It might even come to Vancouver, see the ocean. It'll be beautiful.
There you go.
Oh, speaking of, on that note, next week, we'll drop it right now because we might as well. We'll still going to make it work. I'm pretty sure everything lines up that it shouldn't be an issue. But I'm going to be remote from Vancouver, so a little more limited capacity with what's going on behind me. We're going to make it work, though. We'll have some fun. So
yeah.
Cheers.
We'll have to do some testing, make sure everything's okay ahead of time. But yeah, I'm sure.
CPM
should be okay.
says that Richard Rogers makes some beautiful
Yeah,
slippies.
Skippy. I also follow him. I was thinking about the 3 or 4 guys that I like to follow, but yeah, Rogers is definitely one of those as well.
I don't know if you've ever seen his stuff, Paul, like his customs, but there's a vague Steigerwald inspiration, and just gorgeous work. It's funny, we're getting a lot of hits for this stuff, the slippies he's done for, well, the double D10 stuff he's done for CRKT, but Knife Purveyor, sure, we'll go to that. I am actually kind of excited for the Venandi, the CRKT that's coming out.
What's the material in that bolster that's all like?
I mean, I'm gonna assume like nickel silver or not found. That sucks. Come on, what the hell? Apparently that website's down, so we'll never know. Could be nickel silver bolsters.
You could look at CRKT traditional.
Yeah,
Do they make it in D2?
No, unfortunately, it's an 8CR. Do they say? They don't say the blade thickness. That was the one thing I was a little curious about.
Well,
because again,
it's a crying shame that we're looking at the CRKT offerings and not his custom too. But
yeah,
when his website's down, yeah,
it's a little sad. Oh, RichardRogersKnives.com. It's a WordPress site. Okay, does he? Oh,
that sounds like the site you should be on.
He has not updated since 2017.
All right then.
But there's a couple of pictures here of some traditionals and some funky shit. Oh, it's a 4-sided, 8-bladed monstrosity. That is beautiful. Oh, yes.
That's a monstrosity.
I forget. There's a specific type of knife where it's 2 knives basically like back to back like this, and I forget what they're called.
Well, This he's calling a
Terrible.
barrel knife.
They're called terrible.
That is true. This is specifically called a barrel knife for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's the name of this pattern or whether this is just what he's calling his iteration of it, but that's awesome. That is absolutely fantastic. I love that there's different blade shapes thrown in there. That's amazing.
It looks like the world's worst sex toy, if I'm being honest.
It's
Don't worry about
horrendous.
it. Don't worry about it.
I'm very worried about it.
I'm worried for everyone involved right now.
Okay, fine. Let's look at something a little bit more gorgeous. How about here's another one. I don't know if it's loaded for you guys.
Drop a guy a bone, no pun intended.
Well, not bone, but that appears to be mother of pearl.
Look at those
That's
goddamn liners. Or the back springs.
Yeah.
The file work.
Those are things. Yeah.
Ooh.
Functional artwork. Oh, SM Lytton was the engraver, I'm assuming, because that's a signature right there.
Fancy. Yeah.
Cool.
There is one aesthetic that I wish I had the money to afford, and that's that engraving. I can't afford anything that actually has real hand-done engraving like that, and I want it badly.
I understand. Yeah, Rogers makes some cool stuff.
Yeah, that's good looking. I like the extra little bit of clip on the smaller knife there too.
Yeah,
it's
just a hint.
It's
yeah,
nasty little pirate clip there.
cutlass. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little cutlassy. Yeah, this is a bit more pronounced, but similar kind of idea. That's
Absolutely.
so funny.
I dig it.
BB is asking in chat, Joe, did you end up finishing your knife? Yes, I want to say you can answer that question positively.
Yes.
Produced a handful.
Oh,
shipped them out to people.
Yeah, if we're talking about the friction folder, those were. Yeah, so just very briefly on that, I've made and sold a number of them. I've been wrapped up with the different project for a long time now, so I haven't been able to produce them as often as I would otherwise. Hopefully next month, at the end of next month, I should be completely wrapped everything up and I should be back into full production. But yeah, I did a bunch with green linen canvas micarta. I did some with marbled carbon fiber and
the silver twill.
The silver twill, that one was fun. I hope I can get more of that material in because it's so easy to machine and it looks gorgeous. Oh, the flipper. No, so I've actually ended up kind of pivoting away from my original design, which was going to be a plunge lock. It's now moving towards being something similar to an axis lock, but that'll be ways and away. I'm going to get these guys to review it and just roast me on our own channel. Because
I'll do it.
Absolutely.
I'll do it. All right.
Yeah, just tear me down because I need to be torn down every once in a while.
Yeah, I try to do that on a regular basis. Anyway, just I mean, I'm doing it for you. That's.
Yeah.
It's tough love. It's tough love, is what it is.
Oh, it's tough, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for asking. Thanks for the interest on that.
This is harder on me than it is on you. Okay,
He says, smirking.
Fuck, he's got you there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I feel more comfortable going into doing a locking design than I do going into making slip joints. After all the research I did looking into what goes into making like a classy, nice slip joint, holy shit. There's a number of threads on Blade forums, if you have the time to read through them, of people attempting their first builds. Pretty intensive work. It's impressive. Anyway.
Exciting.
Traditionals. They're cool. I think everyone should carry one. I also think that you should continue to carry modern knives as well, because there's a place for them.
Both.
Yeah, I think that I kind of briefly dabbled on it, that I don't think I'm ever gonna just carry a traditional. I like the idea of them, and yeah, in times of yore when I didn't have access to access locks, I would have been okay. I probably would have been okay even than a lot of other guys in the EDC market with carrying a traditional. But
This is the kind of stuff I grew up on, so it's always going to hold a special place, you know.
Jason Grant gripper pre-orders. Apparently, I will probably do some homework on that after the show because I don't know what the gripper is, but that could take us a lot of different places on Google. That's for
Speaking
sure.
of sex
Sure,
toys, I'm pretty sure I have Safe Search turned on, but
So Bestech is the OEM.
they're
Just like
OEM. Oh,
yeah, just like a bunch of other things is what I was about to say. Yeah.
well,
So.
they did that Richard Rogers design we got to see briefly, the one that Nigel's got. The Vero designs I think are all made by Bestech too. Said it before, I'll say it again. I'm impressed. I am impressed with their fit and finish.
Mostly.
Mostly.
I've seen some things.
But
I've seen some things, man.
We've also seen some stuff from Wii, so let's
yeah,
you know.
for sure.
Have you seen those things recently?
Yes,
Okay.
within this last year.
Okay.
From Bestech, yeah.
Completely.
On so-called premium models that had some fit and finish, like, milling on some flipper tabs like MKM. Not actually exactly the same thing, but I mean,
stuff
along those lines.
Some things that are like, really? All right. Well, I guess we can get away with it. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I think we're almost at the point where we could probably just save that topic for another week here.
Yeah.
We're sitting a little over an hour at this point. Yeah. I don't know if anyone's got anything small. Mine might be a bit of a chat.
I don't think I have anything particularly small. Honestly, I didn't think the traditional thing would take as long as it did, but
no, we all kind of gushed.
Well, we wax poetic because we're assholes.
We got opinions. Apparently, somebody wants to hear them because they showed up. I'm so sorry.
I'm not.
You knew.
You knew what you were getting into.
Exactly.
Unless you're one of those Russian bots, they have no idea. Those are the only people that have an excuse.
Yeah. And I don't think we've gotten one of those guys tonight. So hey, that's awesome.
The best. Yeah. My thing could definitely be a long topic if we wanted it to be. So
might be worth saving then.
I feel like it's something that we can get into.
I see what you're saying.
Might be a little divisive.
Maybe last note, and I mean it came up just on Knife News here actually a couple weeks back, but Work Sharp bug out, yellow handle, black blade, probably the best looking plastic handled bug out I've seen so far in my opinion, but
I do like the yellow.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a hell of a lot better than the gray handle with the orange blade from Cabela's that just came out, because that's garbage.
Yeah, but the orange blade in a different handle.
Yeah, we've already seen some blade swaps that made that thing look nicer. But
indeed, with some blue thumb studs to give it that nerf or nothing kind of feel.
I was just gonna say that's probably my favorite bug out, just for the color palette.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Would you call this a mustard yellow? Like a honey mustard, maybe?
Honey mustard may be in the darker parts of that yellow, but not in the bright.
Definitely some honey mustard, for sure. Good for dipping chicken nuggets. 20 CV. That's the only kicker on that one. CPM, that is an ugly bug out. Looks like you bought it at a hardware store.
So you don't own
my DeWalt tools.
I was just gonna say you don't own any DeWalt anything, do you? Not that that's the wrong option. But still.
I don't know. I was just like, I guess the Ranger one. The Ranger's a good looking bug out, I guess, for the plastic handled ones.
The Ranger green.
Yeah,
I think of all the plastics available, that's probably the nicest color combo. But I really like the CF Elite stuff. It's just cool. But
Is
it's
it
black.
though?
It's all black.
Is it cool?
Yeah. Carbon fiber reinforced nylon. I'll take that over your glass reinforced plebeian plastic any day of the week.
Your plebeian plastic.
Because my patrician plastic is carbon fiber reinforced, you see, so I get to stick my pinky up as I flick my knife open.
Hey man, sometimes
This
it's
is-
sparks in the light. You don't know.
This is some pinkies up plastic right here.
Oh yeah. This is like Victorian era straight razor plastic, my friend. This is
He's definitely putting his pinky somewhere.
Yeah.
Also, if I could get a
right
like
next
a
to his CRKT.
hey, it's a buck now.
It's a buck for at least another 6 weeks.
Oh, probably. Yeah, this thing's awesome. But if I could get a Victorian style straight razor done up with CF Elite handles, I'm saying that'd be pretty cool. That'd be wicked.
I don't like it. I don't like the things that are coming out of your face.
It's a straight razor. Why wouldn't you want plastic handles?
I'm not saying anything wrong with plastic handles.
Just the CF Elite's too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can go acrylic. There's ways. You can go micartas nowadays. There's ways.
My card would be okay. I think I'd almost rather go
Straight
G10
razor.
so it doesn't hold on to anything.
Yeah, you bet. Why wouldn't you?
What's that plastic that a lot of guitar picks are made out of? The stuff that's really
Not Polaroid.
no. Polaroid is a type of camera.
No, I know, but isn't there like Polaroid plastic? Like I thought there was
I
a
think it's like celluloid. Maybe?
celluloid. Sorry, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what straight
Yeah,
razor handles
that
are made
shit
of.
bursts
Isn't
in
it?
the flames.
Like,
Yeah, it does.
All right. I think that'll round us out here. We'll save that topic for next week here because it's not a bad one. But
Looking forward to it.
Cheers to that.
How do I get titanium scales for a bug out? I think you should. I mean,
Seems like the right choice.
look, we're definitely crossing that line of jewelry and function. The bug out's perfectly functional as it is, but after having handled the titanium scales, it makes it feel so much nicer. It really does.
well, and you do have Cal. You do have the limited edition one with the butterfly, and that's a 20 CB, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So throwing that all up in there with some TI, get rid of that gross blue butterfly. It's good. It's all good.
Chill,
What?
bro.
No, I will not, sir. Have you met me?
Dear God, there is no chill. Yeah.
None.
Like if they were doing it properly, they should have dyed that with a light color and then the other color. So it was actually blue underneath, but it made it look purple coming through or something instead of just hazy blue butterflies.
I was gonna say, did you see what they came up with, and you wanted them to make it more complicated?
They can only handle so much at once.
Well, I should know better. I saw what they did with Ozier's shield, so we don't want to go more complicated already than it already is. So,
Hey, man, are you saying you don't like the fact that these shields were not the
really been
same height?
shitting on Benchmade here for the last couple minutes, for sure. For the record, where's your immunity? Sorry.
Quite honestly, I realized recently that I own more Benchmades than anything. So
Really? That's hilarious.
Yeah. by a fairly good margin.
I kind of figured, just quickly before we wrap up, like, how many more Benchmade do you have than like the next most popular item in your collection?
If we're talking just folders,
I think so.
I have
yeah.
a dozen folders, and I have 7 ZTs.
But you have a handful of fixed blades that are Benchmade fixed blades.
Okay. Because I thought you said you had more Benchmades than anything else.
He does. If it's branding and it's
Oh,
not
okay.
folders.
Just
I
the
see.
Benchmade folders, I have more. And if you add in the Stucca and my Puko and things like that,
Darren, you're cruising the bottom barrels of YouTube, I can tell. Thanks for joining us, man. We're about wrapping it up, but I'm glad you joined us, brother.
Cheers, man.
Nice to
Long time
see
no
you.
see.
Yeah. You were skimming the bottom of the barrel, but maybe it was a beer barrel. And that's where I got my knife from. The end. Yeah.
The end.
Without context, that's a confusing story. And even with context, it's not much less confusing.
It's still vague.
Oh,
Terrible.
So yeah, those are things.
Yeah. Should we? I guess you thanked Doug already.
yes.
Guess we're not thanking the cutting edge this week because
We are not,
No.
but we will give one more shout out here as well. Just live. We did have not on Patreon, but new contributor. Really want to thank Stanson 357 for contributing to our cause. Provided a little fundage. I know it wasn't through YouTube or Patreon or anything else like that, but definitely
Always appreciated.
gave some funding to the channel that's going to go back as a thank you. And so I'm sure your name will be thrown into the mix here as well when it comes to the thank you to the Patreon subscribers and whatnot. So really appreciate it, man. We have fun with this and we're glad that you could contribute to the cause. So thanks for joining us every Sunday, man.
appreciate it. Absolutely.
Before I forget, thank you to Tyler. I don't know if you would ever watch this, if you ever come across our channel, but thank you.
I don't know if he would have sat here long enough to
No.
see this bullshit.
Probably not. But I forgot to say it earlier, so thank you, Tyler. You're a wonderful human.
A long time no see, Darren. We're gonna have to catch up soon, regardless of whether it's YouTube Sundays or not. But yeah, you missed us by a week, man. Tune in an hour later. It'll be a good time. Better than the Super Bowl.
Indeed. So weird thing, Instagram. The less I post, the more followers we get.
I don't like that.
Me neither, but my feelings
Because
are.
our account has been taken over by a Russian bot, and he's sending Bitcoin messages, and we're getting followers that way.
We have more followers now than we've ever had. We are closer to 1,000 followers than we've ever been, and it might actually happen this week. So there's a potential that we might have to do a giveaway announcement and stuff like that.
So thank you, Russian bots. Thank you.
Indeed. And
Thank
quite
you,
honestly, it's
comrade.
not Russian. It's not Russian bot accounts that are following us.
No. They're using our accounts to fish for people.
No, I would know.
We're getting the minnows.
Either way, whatever gets us there.
Yeah, we appreciate the minnows. That's
They're a tasty morsel.
big pond. Yeah. So, like and subscribe, YouTube, all that good times as well. Thank you for supporting us. Yeah, little thumbs up here or there. Everyone likes a good thumbs up every once in a while. So,
Don't like that.
North Korean hackers, good stuff. Can't comment on that.
Afraid you already did. That's
Afraid
all
not.
right.
Foiled again. I tell you.
8-1.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We will be back next Sunday, even if it's a different background. Yeah.
Different bat background, different bat time. For you.
Same
Bat
bat, different
background.
background.
Yeah.
I was
All
gonna
right,
say,
guys.
he's in a different time zone.
Yeah, I got you.
It is. There'll be an ocean behind me. It'll be beautiful. It's fine. It's. I am who I am, guys. I'm Dennis Fibers.
I'm not jealous. I am the Iron Joe.
Excel, that's it.
Thanks again for joining us, guys. Y'all have a good night.
I'll just stream from the harbor. You'll just hear ferry horns, just for going straight through the. Yeah.
I mean,
seagulls.
I would enjoy it.
I mean, it's on par with the rest of my contributions. So,
especially these seagull noises.